Welcome back to AutoView Pro, folks. Today, we've got something truly electrifying, or perhaps more aptly, gas-powered and muscle in disguise, because yes, Chevrolet has officially brought the iconic Nova back in 2026, and it's everything gearheads hoped for and more. Let me walk you through every aggressive curve, every growling engine note, and all the tech that brings this legend roaring into the present day. Now, before we dive in, let's rewind the clock just a bit. The Chevy Nova first revved into life as the Chevy 2/Nova in the early 1960s. It was a compact car, born around 1962, riding on GM's X-Body platform, and quickly became the top-selling model of the lineup by 1968. By that point, Chevrolet dropped the Chevy 2 name, leaving Nova to carry the brand alone through the 1970s. That generation wrapped up in 1979, and a brief rebirth came in the mid-80s as a front-wheel drive subcompact built in partnership with Toyota, but that era ended in 1988 when the name morphed into the George Prism. Fast forward decades later, anticipation met speculation. Would Chevy one day revive the Nova name? And here we are, in 2026, with its bold return. Let's get into what makes the 2026 Chevrolet Nova such a standout, because it's not just nostalgia, it's innovation with a vintage heart. Chevrolet's comeback Nova comes in multiple trims, but the ones turning heads are the SS396 and SS454 models. These bad boys are straight-up muscle incarnate, a modern interpretation of classic aggression with names that harken back to legendary Chevy V8 displacements. First up, the Nova SS396. This model drops a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V8 under the hood. That's an engine designed to breathe, scream, and push the Nova into the driver's seat of its own legend. Reports say that this powerhouse delivers untamed throttle response and enough low-end torque to fling you into your seat faster than your brain can register a pure adrenaline in metallic form. Then, there's the Nova SS454A, probably the most insanely exciting muscle revival of the decade. Think 650 horsepower, an adrenaline overload and sheet metal. Chevy's clearly not holding back. The front end is aggressive with wide stance, muscular proportions, LED lighting that glows with retro-futuristic flair, and a grille that feels like a predator ready to pounce. Let's talk design, because it's one of the biggest conversation points. The 2026 Nova pulls aesthetic cues from its classic predecessors: squared, aggressive lines, flared fenders whispering old-school performance, yet everything is wrapped in a modern chiller LED lighting elements, a clean and sculpted body, and a chassis built for today's precision. It looks retro, but with tech and presence that say it belongs on any modern street or track. Now let's step inside, and you're stepping into a cockpit that bridges eras. Imagine a raw, analog vibe, big dials, mechanical switches, a dash that nods to mid-century muscle paired with modern goodies, digital displays, smartphone connectivity, advanced driver assists. It's a purposeful blend of vintage and modern, designed to make you feel intimately connected to the machine while benefiting from today's reliability and safety. Note: official interior details are limited, but several leaks and early looks suggest this intentional retro tech fusion. Underneath, Chevrolet reportedly re-engineered the chassis to match modern performance expectations, with upgraded suspension geometry, improved brakes, and structural rigidity worthy of modern performance cars. Plenty of enthusiasts are already calling it a modern-day muscle machine re-engineered for a new generation, and that doesn't feel hyperbolic. Let's talk powertrain and performance in more detail. The 396 V8 is all about natural aspiration and raw torque, no forced induction, just mechanical honesty and symphonic combustion. The 454, with 650 horsepower, ignites dreams of old-school drag strip dominance, yet promises modern handling and braking. Chevy hasn't yet detailed the drivetrain layout or gearbox options, but we can guess a likelier choice between manual and modern automatics, legendary rear-wheel drive, and that visceral, loud, unapologetic muscle heritage. Performance expectations? If Chevy's marketing is any clue, 0 to 60 is well under 4 seconds in the 454, with quarter miles hovering around 11 seconds depending on traction. And yes, there's talk of a sleeper version, looks deceptively tame on the surface yet hides heart-pounding speed beneath a stealth monster that could shock your senses. Pricing and timing are still kind of under wraps. Sources mention a spring 2026 rollout, which might see limited production numbers to drive interest. As for prices, while official numbers aren't public, speculation places the SS396 and SS454 in the muscle premium segment to expect MSRP in the mid-$50,000s for the 396, and possibly touching or exceeding $70,000 plus for a fully loaded 454. But that's just informed guesswork until Chevrolet confirms. Let's dive into the emotional and cultural impact. The Nova name brings a legacy of simplicity, reliability, and muscle. Reviving it now serves both nostalgia and the current shift toward electrification, yet here we have a car that embraces raw combustion emotion at a time when it could be considered unfashionable. That boldness alone garners attention. It's a signal, enthusiasts still matter, and muscle still has a place, even in a future pivoting to EVs. It's also wildly refreshing to see Chevy balancing electric strides with respect for its heritage. The community is buzzing online, with comments like a modern-day muscle machine re-engineered for a new generation becoming repeated admiration across forums, fan groups, and video discussions. It's not just a car, it's a cultural statement. Now, what does 2026 Nova SS mean for the market? Imagine Ford and Dodge fans watching this playbook. A revival's maybe next for the Challenger, for the Mustang, or for other storied nameplates. Chevy's move could reignite the retro rebirth trend, updated for the modern era, tech certified, regulated, yet emotionally untamed. Let me take a moment here. If you're feeling the hype, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already. Because AutoView Pro will be tracking every update, options, final specs, test drive first impressions, pricing breakdowns, collector edition variants, so everything you'd want from a true muscle car revival. Wrapping it up with a little future speculation. Will Chevrolet introduce an electric Nova F variant? One early rumor suggests Chevy's exploring an F version of the all-electric muscle car version of the Nova, but there's no official confirmation yet, just fan-made mock-ups and social media chatter. If that were real, imagine the torque, instant electric thrust paired with Nova heritage. It's sci-fi muscle come true. Could be a game changer, or just wishful thinking. Stay tuned. In terms of collectability, this 2026 Nova revival in limited trim levels is bound to attract both muscle car purists and new generation car enthusiasts. If units are limited or if special editions pop up, these might be among the most sought after icons of the decade. AutoView Pro will be walking you through every twist, turn, dyno run, and gear shifter. So drop a comment below, which trim are you most excited about, the naturally aspirated symphony of the SS396, or the heart-stopping power of the SS454? And while you're at it, what features do you hope Chevy include? A magnetic ride control, carbon ceramic brakes, launch control, retro analog gauges, or maybe an optional collector's only bone stock heritage package? There you have it. The full scoop on the 2026 Chevrolet Nova Muscle Reborn, heritage revived, future charged. It's a bold ride brought into a bold future, and we're all along for the thunder. Thanks for riding with AutoView Pro. Stay tuned, stay bold, and I'll see you in the next video.